fell in love with you. Guys, I guess just don't follow the fucking sky, you know?
So the true and authentic traditional purpose for the Temazcalli, or the inipi, or the sweat, is like this. I'm sure you've heard of the Japanese scientist named Masaru Emoto and his experiment on how human consciousness affects the molecular structure of water in its presence. If you haven't, I will quickly summarize this term. Masaru Emoto was a Japanese scientist who set up an experiment with different glasses of water and exposed each glass of water to different varying vibrations of human emotion and words: sadness, anger, hatred, love, happiness and joy, speaking angrily or speaking kindly, speaking lovingly or speaking with rage. And then he froze all of these glasses of water and then viewed the frozen water under a microscope. Now the molecular structure of the water exposed to happiness, joy and love under the viewing of the microscope held visually pleasing, complex, balanced and beautiful repeating symmetrical geometrical structures. And the molecular structure of the water exposed to sadness, anger, and hatred, or spoke angrily or hatefully or aggressively towards, under the view of the microscope, held visually displeasing, non-symmetrical, chaotic, atypical, malformed, patternless structures. Now the purpose of why I'm telling you this, sister, is because water holds memory. Very important to understand this. So does fat, so does sayod, but that is a topic for a different day. So every vibration, every conscious thought, feeling, emotion, vibration, and every interaction and circumstance that occurs within the presence of water, water is affected by this and holds on to this like memory until water is evaporated and purified in Patlan, in the sky, the place of medicine, by the Awaje, the guardians of water, the clouds. Now understand, your body is 80% water. Is this not so? So every vibration that one has been around, people, places, or things, of varying lower or higher vibrations, every internal reaction one has uttered in response to one's environments and circumstances, every conscious thought, every spoken word, every act one has engaged in, whether how negative or positive, has left an imprint on the water within oneself. All of this water has been altered and is in a certain state predicated by the nature of one's thoughts, actions, words, environments, circumstances, and one's internal responses or reactions to one's environment and circumstances. If this water state is in a lowly state and vibration that does not serve one must liberate this water from within oneself, allowing it to be freed from such vibrations and malformations and memories, which occurs when one sweats, not just in the ceremony of a lodge sweat, but simply sweating. This sweat will be evaporated and facilitate the process of both your and its purification, as it purifies in the sky by the clouds. And then one replaces this water within oneself by drinking new water that will have a virtually clean slate, depending on where one is able to access or ascertain their water. You see, the Temazcalli was traditionally used only after one had experienced great trauma or any experience that may pervert or malform the water within oneself to a degree where it is felt that this water needs to be purified and replaced very quickly, very soon, to liberate both oneself and it from the vibration, memory, and experience. Other than that, the sweat was usually only done before Xochitlalishtli, which is when one isolates oneself out deep in nature, away from everyone else, on a vision quest, fasting from food and water, and abstaining from any mundane practice, asking for a vision till one receives this vision. As well, the sweat was done after winter. The winter months was over, because winter is the time where this plane or planet receives the very least amount of divine influence in the form of light codes, which flow through the Huetewashikli, or cosmic chakra, that is our solar system's sun. It's our solar system's crown chakra, or Huetewashikli. We call it a Huetewashikli, a cosmic crown chakra. So this was done because everyone's vibration would be lower. because during the winter, one does not sweat often. So one's internal water is not interchanged as quickly as in other seasons, and everyone is a low vibration due to the absence of the light codes or divine influence that otherwise would be flowing through the sun and affecting us. Either way, this practice was used sparingly. Now, what you will notice is what most of the non-language speaking population do not understand any of these things pertaining to the purpose and reason for this practice, but as well are not adhering to the traditional pronunciation of the practice, which aligns this practice with the natural laws, and therein makes this practice spiritually nourishing. Both the New Age movement and the Native American Church, as well as many non-traditional, non-language speaking Indians whom sell ceremony, are responsible for pushing the misrepresented and inverted version of sweat. For instance, for a quick example, traditionally no man could ever enter the lodge who did not have a piochli or temilok, which is a scalp lock braid. This is the braid of hair left separate from all other hair on a man's head that sits right above the parietal lobe of the brain, which is the physical counterpart of the crown chakra. As well, traditionally, all must enter the Temazcalli or the sweat lodge in a clockwise direction, which symbolizes the natural spiral direction of death. And as well, all must leave in a counter-clockwise direction, which symbolizes the spiral direction of natural life and natural rebirth. But this is the most important thing to understand, sister. You see, all of these practices and traditions, non-traditional people have been fooled or have made the mistake of believing that our people's spiritual power and connection to source was ascertained and contained and sustained through these spiritual or ritual practices. But this is actually furthest from the truth. Our people's true spiritual power and direct connection to source was ascertained and sustained from how we lived our lives, intertwined deeply within the natural world, in our ancient, natural, and inherent way of life, and our adherence to its natural laws, living our original instructions of life, which is quantified by certain lifestyle and dietary practices. Ritual, ceremony, and tradition served as nothing more than the husk or expressions of that already ascertained state of connection and power.
Let's keep zoning, let's keep floating, let's keep moaning. Girl, I know that it ain't over. In the morning, you'll be running back to me. Heart was broken, I